Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Trailblazin Tech. I'm LaRosa Johnson, and today we are starting a new series. So we are starting a series on automation, specifically for solopreneurs. So wanting to make automation easy. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to go ahead and get started. So let me get the slides up. All right, so this is an introduction to automation. That's what this course is. And over the next few videos, we're going to be talking about automation, what it is, how to use it in your business, how to build a framework for automation, and really just demystifying what automation is. So I've called this series Automation Made Easy for Solopreneurs. And with the idea being, like I just said, making it easy for you, because one of the questions I get frequently asked is, one, what should I be automating, and how do I automate, and really how to put it all together, because it's such a big spectrum, it's such a big thing, and it's so like overwhelming, and you want to dive into it, but then you realize how overwhelming it is, and you just are like a deer in headlights, and then you never get started. So I want to alleviate that fear and overwhelm with this course. So let's get into it. So first, a brief introduction for you if you are new to Trailblazin Tech. And I'm not going to do this for every series I do, but we're just getting started with Trailblazin Tech. So this is what we're doing today. So a little bit about me. So I am a business automation expert. That's how I like to label myself, because I really enjoy building and automating businesses for the pure fun of it. I enjoy it because it's the one thing that really allows business owners to scale up their business without spending massive amounts of money or having to go and clone themselves, basically. So about me, I've got 20 plus years of tech experience, professional tech experience, not just tinkering around with computers. I did that in my childhood. I have always done it since my dad brought home our first computer, and I've been doing it ever since then. And so went to college for computer science, then switched to religious studies. That's another story for another day. But I've got the background. I've worked for the government. I've worked for major software companies, and I have done a lot of stuff. I've even worked with tech support, lots of different things over the years. But I'm also a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach and online coach. So I have experience in those fields. So when I say I like working with solopreneurs who are online coaches, it's because I'm a coach myself. And so I know what that world is like. I know what the tools are that you need and all that kind of stuff. So that's a bit about me. And like I said, I've also managed the help desk for a top-rated personal software company. And so that's one of those things that sets me apart. And then I've also worked with some of the top business coaches in the fitness and coaching industries. So I've bought their programs. I've either bought their programs or I've worked alongside them, working in their businesses to help their clients and people that they're coaching. So I have tons of experience. And then the last thing about me is problem solving is my jam. And when you think about it, that's what automation is. Automation is just one form of problem solving, and it's the kind of stuff that I enjoy doing. So this is why I'm a business automation expert, and that's me in a nutshell. That's what Trailblazin Tech is all about. So let's get into it. So here's the plan of action for the next few videos that we're going to be doing. Today we are covering the first one. So what is automation? So in this video, we're going to focus on defining our terms and understanding why you need automation in your business, or why you should be using automation in your business. So that's the focus of this video. And then we're going to cover the PI framework. I really like the PI framework. It's one of those things I came up with not too long ago in terms of describing the core framework for building automations in your business. And it was really simple the way this came together, because I was reading a book on automation, just reading what's out there in the field, and the framework that this person put together was like so convoluted and complex. And I was like, this could be simplified. And then I just thought about the process that I use. Boom, the PI framework. So we're going to talk about that in our next video. And then from there, we're going to start getting into the nuts and bolts of things. So in our third video, we're going to identify what to automate. So the thing is, before you can automate, you need to know what you need to automate. So that is the main thing that so many people have a problem with, is they want to automate all the things, but then when they sit down and think about it, they don't know what to automate or where to start. That's what video 3 is all about. And then we get to video 4. After you know what you want to automate, you can then start looking at the tools for building those automations. And we're going to start looking at some of those tools that are going to make those automations happen. And I'm going to show you some of the tools that I use, some of the tools that I recommend. And yes, we're just going to dive into it, maybe even build a couple of simple automations that you can start using once we get to that point. And then finally, we're going to start bringing it all together and building an automation strategy. So we're going to put something together that's both repeatable and is going to allow you to grow and give you the freedom that you're looking for in your business, because ultimately that's what automation is all about. Taking away the things that you don't want to do, automating them so that you can focus on the things that you do want to do in your business. So that's our plan of action over the course of this series. So let's define automation. What is automation? So automation in its simplest terms is the use of technology to perform tasks without human intervention. That's what automation is at its most basic level. And so it can range from simple tasks like sending an email reminder to yourself to complex workflows involving multiple steps and tools. And the complex workflow that I like to use as an example all the time is an onboarding workflow, because it's something that all of us have to do in our business. We are always onboarding clients. It's something that we always need to do. We want it to look the same every single time. And so onboarding is one of those things that is primed for automation. So with that, there are a couple of misconceptions when it comes to automation. And the first one is people think it's only for tech experts. So when you look at automations that are out there, you look at the tools that are out there, you look at things like Zapier or Pabbly or Make and some of these other things that people are building, or looking at like these complex funnels that are getting built out, and people think that, I can't do that. I need someone that's a professional to build those things for me. And on some level, depending on what you're doing, that might be true, but that's not all automation. Like I said, some automations can be really simple, like setting a reminder on your phone to repeat every single day. That's an automation. So we don't even think of, like you're already automating things without even really thinking about it. So that's the first misconception, is you don't need to be an expert to begin setting up and creating automations in your business. All it really requires is a little bit of forethought and then some planning, and then you can start building those automations. But then the next misconception is that, well, if I automate these things, it's going to lose the human or the personal touch. And that's the one thing that people really don't like, especially when all the talk these days is about AI and not wanting to sound like a computer and all this stuff. Well, here's the thing. You are in absolute control over what is getting said in any key point. So in terms of like the personal touch, like emails that are getting sent out, like in an onboarding process, don't let AI write that email for you. Or if you do let it write the email, go in after it and make it sound like you. So you're not going to lose that personal touch as long as you are intentional about those key touch points in your automation that require that personal bit of massaging to make it sound like you and your business. So the personal touch is only lost if you allow it to get lost. So what are some of the benefits of automation? The first thing is it's going to save you a hell of a lot of time. I mean, just think about how much time you spend onboarding your clients, especially if you are like in the health and fitness industry. Like you're taking payments and then you are sending a contract and then you're waiting for that contract to get signed. Then once that's done, then you are sending out onboarding emails, you're getting them signed up for software and all kinds of other stuff that you're doing. And it's just taking a ton of time. But with automation, you can save that time and it allows you to then focus on the things that you really want to do in your business, which is really where like your zone of genius is. And that's the part that I enjoy most about automation is helping people get back to their zone of genius and not just simply spending all of their time on busy work. And I think that's the biggest area where you can start saving time is we'll talk about this more in the next, like some of the next videos, but when it comes to like building automations, you want to figure out what are the things that you can and should automate in your business. And like busy works, the things that you do repetitively, those are the things that you should start automating. So you should start thinking about those things now before we even get to that point in this series of videos. Start thinking about the areas where you are just doing busy work or where you are constantly just doing the same thing over and over again. Like it's always step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, always in the order the same way every single time. Think about that stuff. But the next thing about automation that is of huge benefit is when it comes to repeating those steps, it helps reduce errors. So we are all prone to human error. We always forget. I mean, we are prone to forget stuff. I'm definitely guilty of that. And my clients will tell you that from time to time that in working on stuff, setting up stuff for them, like sometimes I'll forget a step and have to go back and fix it. And it just happens. It's human nature. But at the same time, if you can automate certain stuff, you don't have to worry about that complexity coming into things because you know the computer is just going to do what it's told to do. And so you can rest assured that it's always going to get done the same way every single time. And then finally, just prevent stress and overwhelm. You are here in your business to be able to do things the way that you want to do it. You are starting your business because you want freedom. You want more money. You want more time for your family, for yourself, for your hobbies and activities. And so automation is one of those things that allows you to get there and not having to stress about the things that you don't want to do in your business. And yeah, so like Judy just said, see if I can share this. Yeah, being able to save tech so they can spend more time in my area of expertise is exactly what I need. Even more automation and reducing errors is always a plus. Yeah, wholeheartedly agree with that. So yeah, so let's keep it moving. So the next part is why do we need automation? Here's the thing. The struggle is real. And like I said in the beginning, many solopreneurs and online coaches, they just feel overwhelmed by the idea of automation. And the whole reason for that is because they lack the knowledge and the experience. But here's the thing, it's like if you're a coach, you understand this. Some of your clients come to you and they struggle in the beginning because it's all new to them. And you just have to break it down, let them know. It's like, no, we're just going step by step. And that's what we're doing here with this. We're just taking it step by step with automation and what it is and how to do it. Because yes, there's a whole world out there of automation and things that you can do to automate your business. Again, being as simple or as complex as you want to make it. And that's the overwhelming part because there are so many options. There are so many different ways to do things. But you just need to know where to start. And once you know where to start, then you can start unraveling all those pieces and start figuring things out. So the uncertainty is a barrier because you don't know like what you want to implement, and you see all these complex automations that other people are doing, especially like when we look at these big businesses and the things that they're doing, and we always want to emulate what they're doing. I mean, I'm totally guilty of that. Like even stuff like with this live stream. There are just so many things that I want to automate because I want it to look professional, but at the same time, it's like sometimes you just got to bring it back down to basics and do things the way that you need to get done. And just taking the time to learn the basics. And once you learn the basics, then you can build from there. And it works the same way with automation. Getting the ground, like going back to the ground floor, and then you're laying the foundation and then building from there. And that's where you can start doing things. And then again, like you don't know what to implement. Well, we're going to talk about that because again, like I said, once you start looking at the things that you have as busy work that you know you don't want to do, that you just hate doing, or the things that you just do repetitively in your business, those are going to be things that are primed for creating automations for them so that you can start taking those things off your plate in your business. And then the next thing is like really just lack of specificity, because automation is such a broad term. It can really mean anything you want it to mean, but we have to go back to our definition of like what we did in the beginning and putting some context around it. So if we come back here, if we go back to like defining it, like automation is the use of technology to perform tasks without human intervention. And so that's where we want to look at in our business, like defining that specificity. Like what are the things that we can do in our business where we can remove the human interaction and allow a computer to do it for us on autopilot. Those are the things that we want to think about automating in our business. And that's where we bring in the context for these specific things. And then the last thing I want to talk about in terms of like defining what automation is understanding the difference between delegation versus automation. Because there are so many of us that get to a point in our business, like as we grow, you're eventually going to want to hire like additional coaches or a VA or an assistant. And you need to understand like, all right, so what's the difference between me assigning this task to someone else to do it versus what can I automate and I don't need to hire someone else to do that for me. And so again, automation involves the use of technology to perform the task. So when you're looking at delegation, you are looking at involving someone else to do the task. So the great differentiator between that is thinking, all right, can a computer do this or does someone have to manually come in and touch this? Like when it comes down to like responding to someone's DMs that are coming in or responding to an email, you probably can't automate that unless you are creating something that's like entirely and overly complicated. So responding to an email, that's probably something that you're going to assign to someone else to do. Whereas like your onboarding process, that's something that you can automate. And the thing is, both of them have their place in your business and in your business strategy. But the key is going to be deciding and figuring out when it's appropriate to use each one. So I tell people that you need to automate, but you also need to be willing to and ready to delegate. And it's a matter of understanding which one is which and when you need to do both. And there's not so much like one comes before the other, because it's really a matter of your business and where you are and deciding which one you need first, because you might just need to bring someone in to do some stuff for you and delegate it to them before you can start automating stuff. Or you might be to a point to where your business is able to be productive and all you need to do is just start automating some stuff to give yourself some more time, and you don't need to bring somebody else in just yet. So keeping that stuff in mind when it comes to like hiring a VA versus automating things is just keeping those things straight. And like I said, a key difference and example for those is like onboarding versus like stuff that's going to require the personal touch, and anything that's going to like require like hands-on work or manual touch or like the personal touch, that's the kind of stuff that needs to get delegated versus allowing a computer to automate it and do it for you. All right, so let's recap again where we are going with this over the course of these next few videos. So today we talked about what automation is, just really defining what our terms are and why you should be using automation in your business. And then in our next video, we're going to start looking at the PI framework. And the framework here is what's really going to lay the foundation for the rest of what we're doing in this series around automation. It's going to really give you the core framework for like building automations in your business and being able to do it on repeat, and give you the way of thinking and how I think about automations and how you should set them up. Because so much of what I did in like the last 15 years of my day job was building and writing automations to perform different tasks. So having the groundwork for that is really going to give you everything that you need to go through the rest of these steps. So once you have the framework, then you're going to start identifying what you want to automate. And like I said, before you can begin to automate, you need to know what you need to automate. And then from there, we're going to start looking at the tools that you need to start making those automations happen. And then finally, in the last video in this series, we're going to really help you build a cohesive automation strategy that you can put on repeat and use for growth and freedom in your business. So whenever you need a new automation, you know exactly the steps that you need to take to either build that automation or hand it off to someone else for them to build that automation for you. So that's where we're going. And finally, I want to just tell you, if you haven't already, join the free community that we have set up for Trailblazin Tech. You can go to LaRosaJohnson.com, and there's a button there for you to join the community. It's absolutely free. That's where you're going to find all the replays. That's where you can ask any questions and engage with me there. So yeah, go to LaRosaJohnson.com, join the community. We'll check this out, and then I will see you guys in the next video where we're going to talk about the Pi framework, and we're going to start getting into the details of automation. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.